Have you ever felt like you're speaking a different language than the person right in front of you? You offer a compliment, a genuine attempt at connection, and it just lands flat. It's like tossing a pebble into a vast ocean, barely a ripple. This isn't about you lacking charm or sincerity. It's about a fundamental misunderstanding of how human beings, particularly women, process verbal validation. We've been conditioned to believe that surface-level praise, "You're beautiful, you're stunning," is the golden key. But if you're dealing with someone who has even a flicker of self-awareness, let alone true confidence, those words are not only forgettable, they're often dismissed. They've heard it 1,000 times, and frankly, they've forgotten every single person who uttered them. Why? Because such compliments are about the observer's perception, not the observer's inner world. They demand nothing, spark no introspection, and thus build no genuine intrigue. Think of it like a detective interviewing a seasoned suspect. You don't start with obvious flattery. You start by observing what's truly unique, what's hidden beneath the surface. My old partner, Detective Miller, used to say, the obvious answer is usually the wrong one when you're looking for truth. He'd watch a suspect for hours, not listening to what they said, but how they shifted, what they avoided. That's the real data. Similarly, a truly impactful compliment isn't about what's immediately visible. It's about acknowledging the unseen, the unsaid. When you do that, you don't just offer praise. You initiate a subtle, psychological dance where she's no longer passively accepting your attention, but actively seeking your understanding. Consider this. When was the last time you truly felt seen, not just admired? When someone looked past the costume you wear for the world and acknowledged the person beneath. That's the feeling we're aiming for. The critical flaw in conventional flattery is its predictability. It's like a cheap lock that can be picked by anyone with a basic understanding of social niceties. When you utter a generic compliment, you're not building a connection. You're merely activating an autopilot response. She'll nod, offer a polite thank you, and her internal systems will swiftly file you away into forgettable background noise. This isn't a judgment against her. It's a testament to human psychology. Our brains are wired to filter out redundancy, to ignore what doesn't challenge or stimulate us. Think of the hundreds of advertisements you see each day. Most of them bore into an undifferentiated hum because they follow a predictable script. The moment a compliment feels rote, it ceases to be a compliment and becomes an imposition, a demand for a polite reaction rather than an invitation to a deeper interaction. True attraction, the kind that lingers and grows, isn't built on this shallow foundation. It's forged in the fires of emotional resonance. It's about making someone feel something, not just hear something. I once had a witness, a hardened cynic, who had seen it all. But when I simply acknowledged the quiet strength I observed in her, the way she carried herself despite immense pressure, her entire demeanor shifted. Not because I said she was strong, but because I conveyed I saw her strength, the internal battle she was fighting. It wasn't a compliment to her appearance, but to her resilience. That's the difference. We're aiming to disrupt the pattern, to introduce a variable that the brain can't immediately categorize, forcing it to engage. How many times have you settled for the easy path, the well-worn phrase, only to wonder why your efforts seem to vanish into thin air? The answer is simple. You didn't make her think. This brings us to what I call incendiary observations. You might hear others call them forbidden compliments. These aren't just words. They're psychological charges designed to detonate in the mind long after you've walked away. While typical compliments are like water off a duck's back, these observations are designed to linger, to dig under her skin, to make her replay your words in her head. Cultivating a quiet obsession. We're not talking about manipulation here, but rather a profound understanding of human nature, strategic recognition of what truly resonates. The goal is to rewire her perception of you entirely, while other men are still stuck in the shallow end of the pool, splashing around with tired lines about pretty eyes or nice hair. You're diving into the deep end, speaking directly to the rarely touched parts of her being, her hidden desires, her secret self, the complex woman beneath the surface that very few bother to notice. Think of a cold case. The easy answers, the obvious suspects, often lead nowhere. It's the subtle clue, the anomaly, the piece that doesn't fit the expected narrative, that cracks the case wide open, a compliment that catches her off guard, that makes her pause and think, wait, what did he mean by that? That's your anomaly. That's the moment you stop being just another voice in the crowd and become the individual who made her pulse quick. Ken, who ignited a spark of genuine curiosity. Are you prepared to move beyond predictable pleasantries and engage on a level that truly sticks? Consider the seemingly simple phrase, "There's something about you I can't quite figure out." This isn't flattery, it's a carefully placed fuse. You're not feeding her ego, you're igniting her curiosity, handing her a mystery about herself that only you seem to perceive. Suddenly, she's no longer passively accepting your attention. She's subtly, unconsciously, working for it. She begins revealing layers of herself she normally keeps guarded. All because you've hinted at seeing something no one else has. This is psychological jiu-jitsu at its finest. While other men are giving away all their power with obvious, transparent admiration, you're creating an irresistible tension that pulls her in. She'll find herself replaying your interactions, studying her own behavior, wondering what subtle quality caught your attention. That slight tilt of your head when you say it. The way your eyes lingered just a beat too long. These become clues in a game she didn't realize she wanted to play until you invited her. I remember a particularly elusive witness, a master of deflection. Conventional questioning only pushed him further into his shell. But when I remarked, not on what he said, but on the surprising composure in his eyes, a calm amidst the storm, he was narrating, he paused. He was used to people challenging his story, not acknowledging his internal state. That unexpected observation created a crack, a space for truth to emerge. The brilliance of this incendiary observation lies in the space you leave between your words and their meaning. She'll fill that space with her own imagination, her own desires, projecting onto you all the depths she wishes someone would finally recognize. This isn't about playing games, it's about being the first person who doesn't pretend to have her figured out in 5 minutes. This rare patience, this willingness to let her unfold slowly, that's what makes you unforgettable. Now, let's turn our attention to another powerful observation. I feel like there's a side of you most people never get to see. This isn't just a compliment, it's an invitation to an emotional excavation. This phrase cuts through the daily performance, the carefully constructed facade everyone presents to the world, and speaks directly to the unexpressed, often protected version of herself she keeps hidden. Most people interact with her public persona, the polished, socially acceptable version. But you, with this simple yet profound statement, are hinting at a recognition of something wilder, deeper, more authentic beneath that surface. The power here lies in the implication. You're not like other men who settle for the obvious. You're the kind of man who notices what isn't said, who senses the restrained passion behind a casual remark, or the hidden intensity in her laugh. It's akin to a detective noticing a subtle flinch, a fleeting shadow of emotion that betrays a deeper truth. I recall a case where a witness presented as completely unfazed, almost robotic. Yet, a barely perceptible tremor in her hand when discussing a certain detail told me everything. That tremor wasn't a weakness. It was a testament to the raw, unacknowledged pain she was suppressing. When you articulate that you see past the surface, when she believes you might truly see the real her, the one that rarely gets airtime, something profound shifts. She'll unconsciously begin revealing more, testing the boundaries to see if you can handle the parts of herself she normally keeps locked away. This isn't about manipulation. It's about creating the safety and intrigue for her to emerge from behind her defenses, to experience the rare freedom of being fully herself. When you unlock that level of authentic revelation, the dynamic transforms completely. While other men get the highlight reel, the curated version of her life, you gain access to the raw, unfiltered story. And that kind of emotional access isn't just attractive, it's what transforms casual interest into something dangerously addictive. She won't just want you, she'll begin to need you. Because you become the mirror that finally reflects back the woman she's always been but perhaps never had permission to fully embrace. This isn't a quick fix or a pickup line to be casually deployed. It's a deep dive into the psychological bedrock of human connection. Think about it. How many people in your life truly see you? Beyond your job title, your social role, or your outward achievements, very few, I'd wager. We all carry these hidden facets, these unexpressed desires, and when someone demonstrates the rare capacity to perceive them, it creates an immediate, profound bond. It's the difference between hearing 1,000 cliched lines about your kindness and someone quietly observing. You have an unusual capacity for empathy. It's almost a burden, isn't it? The latter resonates because it's specific, it's observant, and it suggests a deeper understanding. This isn't about being overtly profound. It's about being observant enough to see the quiet truths. Are you willing to listen not just to her words, but to the silence between them, to observe not just her actions, but the motivations that flicker beneath the surface? That's where the true connection lies. Now for an emotional detonation, a phrase that fundamentally changes the game. I can't decide if you're trouble or exactly what I need. This isn't merely a clever line, it's a precisely calibrated statement, designed to strip away our control, born from my years of observing how people react under pressure, how they crave to be understood but also to be challenged. With obvious admiration, you give away all your power. Instead, you're creating a delicious tension by making her wonder exactly where she stands with you. That subtle hesitation in your voice when you deliver it, that's the sound of a man who isn't easily impressed, who's still evaluating her worth. And suddenly, the script flips. She's the one subtly trying to prove herself, to define her position in your estimation. The genius of this lies in its duality. You're simultaneously acknowledging her magnetic pull, the trouble or exactly what I need aspects, while maintaining enough mystery to keep her off balance. She'll oscillate between wanting to lean into the trouble persona to excite you, and revealing her nurturing, supportive side to show she's exactly what you need. This internal conflict, this exquisite push-pull, is something most women rarely experience, precisely because most men are too busy showering them with predictable praise to create any real, compelling tension. Watch her eyes when you drop this line. Observe how her body language shifts, becoming more animated, more expressive, as she tries to resolve the intriguing contradiction you presented. You're no longer just another admirer. You're the intriguing puzzle she can't stop trying to solve. In that moment of delicious uncertainty, you become the man who doesn't just want her but makes her want to be wanted by you, which is an infinitely more powerful state of being. This is how you transcend the dreaded friend zone, the simp zone, all those comfortable, predictable places where well-meaning but ultimately ineffective men get trapped. By making her work for your approval, while secretly loving every second of the chase you've initiated, you've just unlocked the secret language of authentic attraction. This isn't about playing games with people's emotions. It's about understanding the deep-seated human desire for challenge, for intrigue, for being seen as complex and multifaceted. When someone knows they have to earn your respect, they value it more. When they feel they have to reveal more of themselves to be understood, they become more invested. This isn't cheap manipulation. It's a profound engagement with another person's inner world based on observation and a willingness to step outside the tired social scripts. It's about being bold enough to be genuinely discerning, Are you ready to stop chasing and start being the one who is pursued? The core insight here, gleaned from years of dissecting human behavior in high-stakes situations, is that attraction isn't built on flattery, it's built on emotional resonance. These incendiary observations aren't cheap pickup lines or empty compliments. They are sophisticated psychological triggers that bypass her conscious defenses and speak directly to the part of her that craves real, unvarnished connection. The men who truly win in the complex dance of love and dating aren't the ones who shower women with hollow, predictable praise. They are the rare few who make women feel something unforgettable, something unique, something that demands introspection and a deeper engagement. Think of it like this. When I'm interviewing a person of interest, I'm not looking for them to parrot back what they think I want to hear. I'm listening for the crack in the facade, the unexpected detail that reveals their true motivations, their authentic self. These observations are your equivalent. They're designed to elicit a genuine emotional response, to create a ripple effect that extends far beyond the immediate conversation. Are you beginning to see how this shifts the entire dynamic? Imagine walking into any room, locking eyes with the woman you're interested in, and knowing exactly what to say to make her pulse quicken, not from superficial ego stroking, but from genuine intrigue and a sense of being truly seen. That's the profound power you now hold. But here's the catch, and it's a crucial one. This only works if you use it with authenticity and genuine observation. This isn't a parlor trick, it's a tool for deeper connection. If you're merely reciting lines without true presence and a willingness to understand, it will fall flat. I've seen countless individuals try to mimic genuine connection, and it always fails. The difference between a master interrogator and an amateur isn't the questions they ask, but their ability to listen and observe the answers, both spoken and unspoken. Your task isn't just to deliver a line, but to pay attention to her reaction, to truly see her. Are you prepared to apply this knowledge not just as a tactic, but as a genuine pathway to understanding others? So, here's my challenge to you. Stop blending into the crowd of men who bore her with the same old, tired compliments. It's a waste of your time and hers. Start deploying these incendiary observations, but do so with intent and a keen eye. Watch how her entire energy shifts when she's around you. Pay attention to how she leans in closer, how her laugh might become a little more unrestrained, how she holds your gaze just a beat longer. These aren't subtle signs. These are profound indicators that you are different. You are the man who gets it, the one who understands that true connection is about stimulating her mind and her emotions, not just validating her appearance. It's about building a foundation of intrigue and authentic discovery. This isn't about playing games. It's about playing the game of human connection with a higher level of skill and insight. Are you willing to step out of your comfort zone and into a space where real connection can flourish? The beauty of these observations lies in their ability to foster self-discovery within the person receiving them. When you make a comment that forces someone to ponder their own traits, their own complexities, you're not just complimenting them, you're inviting them on a journey inward. Consider a woman who has always been praised for her beauty. She knows he's attractive. That feedback is old news. But when you introduce a statement like, "There's a subtle defiance in your eyes I find fascinating," you're making her think. She's going to replay that. Defiance, is that true? How did he see that? This internal dialogue is incredibly powerful because it makes her an active participant in the interaction, even when you're not speaking. It's the difference between being a passive recipient of praise and an active explorer of her own identity, guided by your insightful observation. This is how you make an interaction linger, because you've not just flattered her, you've made her question herself in the most thrilling way possible. Have you ever had a conversation that made you rethink something about yourself? How did that make you feel about the person who prompted that thought? The crucial differentiator of these incendiary observations is that they don't just land, they expand. They create a space for mystery where other compliments suffocate with predictability. Think of it like this: a conventional compliment is a closed box. It gives you all the information up front. But an incendiary observation is an open-ended question, an invitation to a puzzle. She'll find herself thinking about your words at night, turning them over in her mind, not because you praised her, but because you made her question herself in the most thrilling way possible. This is how ordinary interactions transform into electric connections. It's not about telling her what she already knows. It's about showing her what she's been waiting her whole life to hear, that she's more complex, more fascinating than the world has ever let her believe. And when a woman feels that kind of recognition, that's when you stop being just another guy and become the one who actually understands her, the one she can't stop thinking about. This is the ultimate goal in any high-stakes interaction, whether it's an interrogation or a conversation aimed at genuine connection, to make the other person reveal themselves because they feel truly seen, not just superficially acknowledged. So, what's your next move? Will you let this profound knowledge, this insight into the hidden mechanics of human connection collect dust? Or will you step into the world and own it? The choice, as always, is yours. But remember, the right words, delivered with genuine observation and a discerning eye, don't just change the conversation. They can fundamentally change your entire life. Go out there and make her feel something she'll never forget. Something that transcends the superficial and reaches the core of who she is. This isn't about being charming. It's about being profoundly perceptive. Are you ready to see people, and in turn be seen, in a way you never have before?